In 1977, a small factory in Colvin, Leicester got to work on something that would change the lives of countless people. Little did they realise that people were still caring enough 40 years later to sit and listen to a guy waffle on about that product. This is the Star Wars Toy Podcast. Hello there. Welcome to episode 25 of the Star Wars Toy Podcast. I'm Darth Mark, and on this week's podcast, I'm going to be talking about a certain company that I and a lot of other collectors have had dealings with, and I'll also go through some of the pitfalls in collecting out there. I've talked about them before, but it's just worth noting again. And I've also got an article about collectors scamming. But as always, on this podcast, we start with this.
The Star Wars Tracker Report.
Yes, we have the tracker report every week, well, most weeks. But I just want to ask you if you actually enjoy listening to this. It's a lot of numbers. It's could be classed as boring. It's quite interesting to me, but I can see the pictures of the items, and that does make it a bit more interesting. If you are a vintage Star Wars collector, you usually know what I'm talking about. But for some people that are collectors, it could be quite difficult to know what I am actually talking about. There's not really much I can do about that on a podcast. If I did it on my YouTube channel, I could perhaps show you each figure. So what I want to know is if you find this interesting, if you want me to carry on with this. I mean, I could just talk about other things. I'll leave this alone. And as I said last week, I could do with a bit of feedback and tell me which parts of the show you like and which you don't like. I once got accused of having a monotone voice, which I can't help. I mean, my voice is my voice. But that came from somebody who had a bit of a grudge against the podcast. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to put a poll on Twitter at Star Wars Toy Pod and see if you want me to keep it in the show. But for this week, we are keeping it in the show. And the market activity for the 30th of November to the 6th of December, there was 960 items sold with a value of £56,183. So the top 5 accessories this week are at number 5. We have an X-Wing fighter, Kenner Canada, Star Wars A, red background, pyramid French logo, sold in Canada, $360. And number 4, we have the Death Star, loose palatoy, sold in the United Kingdom for £387. Number 3, we have a Darth Vader's Star Destroyer, Kenner, Star Wars A, bounty hunter scene, sold in the United States for $769. Number 2, we have a Slave One, AFA Q70, Kenner, Empire Strikes Back A, Cloud City scene, sold in the United States for $786. But at number 1, we have a Millennium Falcon, Kenner, Return of the Jedi A, Luke Jedi Tatooine scene, and that was sold in Australia. It's not Toy Toys, it's a Kenner, but it sold for $1,200 Australian dollars. On to the top 5 loose figures. At number 5, we have Bosk Bounty Hunter, UKG 80, PBP, sold in the United Kingdom for £275. Number 4, we have a Boba Fett AFA 85 Plus, Kenner, sold in the United States for $363. Number 3, Yak Face, UKG 85, Kenner, sold in the United Kingdom for £290. Number 2, we have a Squid Head AFA 75, a Lily Lady version, sold in the United States for $540. But at number 1, we have the old vinyl Cape Jawa, UKG 85, sold in the United States for $1,305. That's unusual for a United States sale to have a UKG graded Jawa, or a UKG graded anything. So on to the top 5 mock figures. Now, number 5, a Brown Snake Yoda, Palatoy, Return of the Jedi, 70p, sold in the United States for $510. And number 4, we have a Power Droid, AFA 80, Kenner, Empire Strikes Back, 21G, sold in Australia for $800 Australian dollars. Number 3, Sand People, Tusken Raider, Solid Cheeks, UKG 80, and a Palatoy Star Wars 12B card, sold in the United Kingdom for £793. And number 2, we have another brown snake, Yoda, Kenner Power of the Force 92A this time, sold in the United States for $1,999. And finally, at number 1, we have a Luke Skywalker fanboy, yellow hair, AFA 85 on a Kenner Star Wars 12A card, sold in the United States for $3,150. So there you go, that's your Star Wars tracker for this week. I noticed there was a lot of licensees in there, Little Lady, PvP, and again I'm aware that there may be some collectors out there, or people wanting to collect, they don't understand all the terms. So what I've thought about doing is maybe weekly do a rundown on each letter of Star Wars collecting terms. Again, let me know if you're interested in listening to that. I really need some feedback. I did get Roku Depot give me some feedback on the podcast as a whole, saying it was very interesting, very educational. If that could be a derogatory term, because it's meant to be entertaining as well. I obviously want more people to listen, but at the end of the day, I want to educate people and I want to get people loving this hobby, because although it's challenging and very expensive, it's very, very rewarding.
Penny for your thoughts.
So it's coming up to Christmas and you need to get those must-have toys, if not for yourself, for your kids. You want to pay as less as possible, and sometimes you're quite desperate to get those sold-out toys. You don't see them selling out as much as you used to do, but they still do now and again, and that can sometimes make you panic and not think about what you're buying. So Darth Mark is here to help out, to help you spot those scams and those nasty scammers. I'm going to start with a company that I have had dealings with. Not good dealings. It started out brilliantly, started out alright. I think it's the story is the same for everybody that bought things off these people. They were okay at the beginning, but recently they just haven't fulfilled their orders and obligations. Now, I've tried to be fair about this. I've emailed them a couple of times to say that I'm going to be talking about them, and I want to get their side of the story because, as I said at the beginning, they were quite a legitimate company. Customers were getting their orders, albeit a bit late, but we can understand that you're getting stuff from America. Save it us import tax. And they even promised to get the katana over from America and said they had a deal with Hasbro. I don't know how that panned out. I never knew anybody that actually got one, but I did actually talk to them at the time. Now I'm going to name the company because it's only fair. A lot of people, I don't know if anybody has not got the money back. I did get my money back. I want to state that. I spent £123 with them. I did get that back through PayPal. I didn't get it back through them. They wouldn't return my calls or my emails or anything like that. I had to go through PayPal to get it back. But I did get it back. I have talked to the collectors who are in the same boat, and they've even put posts up on Twitter about this company. And it is Dark Side Toys. Now, I believe they started in 2016. I started noticing them and talking to them in about 2016, 2017. I have actually got my old podcast name on one of their apps. It is the collecting app and not the shop app. So it's not too bad. I mean, it's a defunct podcast now, so that doesn't really matter. I just wanted to get that out in the open. They were a legitimate company when I first started talking to them. That is why I ordered from them this year. I ordered a 6-pack of the Retro Collection, a Emperor Palpatine Black Series on Throne, a Hoth Leia Black Series, and a Chewbacca Vintage Collection. It came to $123.99 with delivery. I think it was free delivery, to be honest with you, which is good because it didn't turn up. I ordered it in July, and they stated that it would be an August delivery. August came and went, and I asked them where it was. They said, September. Then it was October. And then I said, what's going on? And then they actually said that it's been sent, and they actually give me a tracking number for the Royal Mail. Now, Royal Mail never received the package, So I got back in touch with Dark Side Toys. They did tell me that they was getting onto it and they was trying to find it out where it's gone missing, blah, blah, blah. I contacted the Royal Mail. They said they knew nothing about it. So I got back in touch with Dark Side, and that was the last I heard from them. I gave it a couple of weeks, and then I went to PayPal and said, look, I want my money back. I want these figures. I still want the figures. I've not got the retro collection. I've got Tarkin, but I've got not got the 6. I want those. I need that collection. I was asked by my friend in Dewsbury, who has got Cosmic Toys. He had the whole set and said, do you want them? And I said, look, I've got them coming. They've even been sold in Asda, and I didn't pick them up because I thought I was getting them. I could have easily got them. That is one of the things that really pisses me off. Legitimate collectors are losing out because of scammers like this. Now, that parcel could have gone missing. I accept that. But why no communication? Why not just say, we haven't got them. We can't fulfill your order. Simple as that. Then they could have come out of it. Yes, we'd have been not happy, but we'd have known that we couldn't get them, so we could get them somewhere else. And why blatantly lie to me and say they've been posted? Now, what gets me in a conversation with another collector, pretty high up, he has ordered something, and as I say, he's put a post up on Twitter about this company, Dark Side Toys. Not to be confused with Dark Side Toys or anybody like that. The Dark Side Toys, they're based in Scotland, and this is the most telling part, they've deleted their Twitter account. When I emailed them, I asked them if they're still trading. But apparently, what they do now, I don't know if this is what they did in the beginning, because I did get a Tarkin Black Series off them. The stock they take to toy fairs and Comic Cons and Star Wars events. But surely that's the wrong way around. Surely the online mail order business is their bread and butter. Paying for a stall. Yes, you get out to the customers, and you probably sell most of your stuff there, but you do your orders first. And if you can't fulfill them, don't put them on your website. I know through experience how bad online is, especially eBay. But shelling out for brick and mortar and going to toy events, not to mention the travelling expenses, especially when they're in Scotland, I don't know how they can justify that. Again, I've emailed them and asked them if they want to answer a few questions. They haven't returned my email. But if you're listening to this now, I would like to talk to you. I would like to get your side of the story. It might be legitimate, but your silence is deafening. I'd be quite interested to hear from anybody who's bought anything off Dark Side Toys. I've actually seen them out and about at toy fairs or the Comic Cons. I actually saw them selling at Echo Live a couple of years back, and I bought some stuff off them because they had some amazing stuff. But why keep it to just the toy fairs? Because now you've got a bad name and a bad reputation in the Star Wars community. The scary thing is that these aren't the only company doing something like this. I'm going to read an article in a bit about that very thing that they are doing. But there are people out there. I've said eBay is quite dodgy. Gumtree, I had a guy on there that tried to sell me some figures. He sent me a picture of about 100 figures, something like that. I only wanted 120 quid from. One of them was worth 120 quid by itself. So I said, look, I'll give you half the money. When I get them, I'll give you the other half. He says, oh, I want it. Oh, blah, blah, blah. I said alarm bells were ringing. I won't name him because I've named him before, and I did get my money back eventually from him. But you get people like that who send you pictures of things that aren't actually theirs and trying to get the money from you, then buy them. Or maybe not, maybe just get you to keep your money, which is stupid. I don't know why anybody would do that. It's like you saying to your friend in a coffee shop, I'll sell you a cup of coffee for £5, and then going to the counter and paying £2.50 for it. He then sent me a lot more pictures, a lot more stuff. They tried to get a lot more money out of me, which totally just I knew then that it was quite dodgy, so I did give him the £50, but I got it back from PayPal. I think I got a bit overexcited when I saw this job lot of figures. I just love rummaging around a box of figures. I thought that's why I like working for Hansons. You never know what's going to come in next. I could go on and on with these scams. I mean, there was that time with the Princess Leia blaster that I got for £20. I knew it wasn't right. Well, I didn't know. I was debating whether it were right or not. The story that he concocted was very, very dodgy. His mum worked in a charity shop with this other lady that he's friends with, who used to work at Palatoy, and she had a box of weapons that she swept up off the floor, and he had 7 Princess Leia blasters, but slightly different from the original moulds. But it took Imperial Gunnery about 6 months to find out whether it was legit or not. It could have been a new mould, new variation, but it wasn't. It was quite dodgy. That only came to light really because somebody tried to sell about 50 of them at Comic-Con sometime after that. I think it was in Birmingham. And of course, there's Toy Tony that everybody knows about. I won't go over that. You can go back to one of my old episodes where I talk about that. So what I'm going to do now is going to read you this article I found. I get Google alerts every morning about Star Wars toys. And funnily enough, one of these came up this morning. How to avoid getting scammed while shopping for popular holiday toys. It's not all about Star Wars, but it can relate to it as well. Scammers offer deep discounts and prey on people's fear of missing out. That's what I said earlier. Here's what to look out for before plugging in your credit card number. Every holiday season, the most popular must-have toys are used as bait by scammers looking to lure people into purchasing toys online that never show up or are different from what they ordered. The Better Business Bureau has issued a warning about this year's popular holiday toys. What you need to watch out for before punching in your credit card number. They're going to prey on people's fears of missing out, BBB New York President Clay Rosenweil told Vicky Nugent on Today Tuesday. That's what scammers do. They prey on fears. In all these scenarios, you never get your money back. The FBI says non-delivery crimes are one of the most prevalent holiday scams, with thousands of consumers affected and millions of dollars in losses. The toys attracting scammers attempting to trick parents out in the money this year are Funko Pop figurines, Hatchimals, Magaformers, Spice in Disguise, Baby Shark, Fortnite, Avengers Marvel Legends, and toy tie-ins with Frozen 2, Star Wars, Jumanji, and Cats, according to the BBB. I don't know what half of those I'm a toy expert, I still don't know what they are. A website named Zoo Galaxy that advertises popular Star Wars toys for low prices has been flagged by the BBB after it received consumer complaints saying that they never received their items. Sounds familiar. The site advertises Star Wars toys for prices that are as low as 80% off what they are selling for at well-known retailers, which the BBB says is a red flag. Nugent tracked down the address for Zoo Galaxy in New York and found out what appeared to be an abandoned building with boarded up windows. The address comes up as an empty lot on Google Maps Street View, but its website remains operational. Nugent offers some more tips for the BBB for parents looking to avoid getting scammed while trying to buy the must-have toys this Christmas. 1. Check out retailers you recognise from the same toy to make sure the price is correct. And if the price seems too good to be true, it probably is. For example, Millennium Falcon Lego set with the original price of $250 is going for under $50 at the Zoo Galaxy site and is being flagged by the BBB. $250. I don't know which one that is. And number 2, beware of product listings that feature a countdown clock to entice customers by saying things like, sale ends soon, don't miss out. Number 3, if you have already bought an item from a suspect site, immediately let your credit card company know so you can get a chargeback. And keep an eye out for any suspicious activity in your account. Next, never buy an item online with a debit card because you normally won't be refunded if there's a problem. That's why I always use PayPal. Even though I don't like them, they're good at getting your money back. And it says report any problems to the BBB website, which I don't know exactly if we can use that in the UK. But there are places like the Citizens Advice. So there you go, that's my consumer advice slot for this week. I don't want to sound too flippant because I really do hope it will help somebody out there. I just wish we could get rid of all the reproductions on eBay.
Somebody once told me the world is gonna throw me. I
have an article here that I should have talked about a couple of weeks ago, even last week. I still believe it's worth talking about, so I'm going to talk about it now. Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker will mark the final chapter of the Skywalker trilogy, and the prestigious British auction house Sotheby's is marking the occasion with a new event. Star Wars Online collects trinkets, art pieces, and classic toys from the original trilogy, spanning between 1977 and 1983. That includes action figures from important characters like Han Solo, Luke Skywalker, and Princess Leia from New Hope, The Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. There's even a still of Darth Vader's head, entitled Bring Me the Head of Darth Vader, designed by director and artist Clive Baker. There are silk screen banners, action figures, still in their original packaging, as an integral part of Star Wars collecting, as any fan will tell you. One poster in particular stood out while I was perusing the collection, and it's a stunning special release Japanese poster, designed by Orai Noriroshi, and it's one that Sotheby's defines as exceptionally rare. I will try and use it in the show artwork if you want to have a look at that. Sotheby's website has a full rundown of items that are available to purchase on its website. The costs run from anywhere from between £50 to tens of thousands of pounds. And the auction will run from November 29th until December 13th yesterday. Sorry about that. But I'm going to get a rundown of what was sold and what the prices were for next week's podcast. So listen in there. And also don't forget that we at Hansons are having a Star Wars Struck toy auction in January. We were going to have it next week, but we've moved it to January, not to clash with Sotheby's auction. And there are some amazing pieces in there already, including my life-size Darth Vader. Yes, he's gone. He's not here anymore, unfortunately. I don't know, I might get him back. Depends if anybody wants to buy him. But if you want to look on www.hansonsauctioneers.co.uk, I will leave a link in the show notes for that. You'll probably be able to see him very soon, and all the other amazing finds we have got, including some tri-logos and some really nice boxed vehicles and playsets. If you want to sell anything in this auction, you've got till the 20th of December to register your items. Get in touch with me on blueharvesttoys@gmail.com or on the aforementioned Hansons website. The auction itself will be on the 20th of January. And finally this week, I just want to give you a heads up for Monday night. That is the 16th of December. There's going to be a couple of programmes about Star Wars on BBC4. On the night that The Rise of Skywalker premieres in LA, a very special Star Wars night will be taking place on BBC4 in the UK, as two documentaries will air on the channel. The Galaxy Britain Built first premiered in 2017 and featured interviews with Gareth Edwards, Gary Kurtz, Peter Beale, Robert Watts, Les Dilley, Roger Christian, Colin Gowdy, John Mollo and Nick Malley, and has now been extended to a 90-minute presentation. But there is another, and this is going to be more interesting to us, and I did try and get David Whiteley to come on for an interview, but he's very busy. So instead I'm going to read this article about him and the programme. New BBC4 programme Toy Empire tells the British story behind the Star Wars toys. Now, the story of how a mega success of George Lucas' sci-fi saga transformed film merchandising and the fortunes of a British company are to be told in a new documentary from Star Wars superfan David Whiteley. The BBC East presenter is following up the success of the previous Star Wars programme, The Galaxy Britain Built, which told never-before-heard stories of the very British creative geniuses behind the original 1977 film. With Toy Empire, the British force behind the Star Wars toys, it tells how Palitoy, the Leicestershire firm behind Action Man and Tiny Tears, was chosen to manufacture Star Wars figures in the UK. But whose staff had little idea what they were about to become must-have toys of a generation. Retailers were very sceptical, so they said, if you take Star Wars, we'll do you a big discount on Action Man. But of course, once it got into the shops, kids like me lapped it up, said David, who gets to realise a childhood dream of becoming a Star Wars figure. Not sure about that. The BBC 4 programme includes archive footage and interviews with the men and women who designed and made the toys, and the enthusiasts of pocket money toys now fetch eye-watering sums. David said, the thing that they designed that is now worth a lot of money is a Palitoy Death Star. Yes, don't we know? It is a cardboard and a completely different design to the plastic one in the States. We filmed a toy auction where one went for £1,400. Not surprising. The programme, timed to coincide with the new film The Rise of Skywalker, is being screened at 9 p.m. on December the 16th, followed by a new extended 90-minute version of the Galaxy Britain built. He said, we have a load of interviews that were never used before, and I found new interviewees that have found a lot more new archive footage. I've spoken to the woman who did continuity, who still has the annotated scripts, with notes on how she helped Alec Guinness rewrite very famous speeches. We also have two guys who were principals in the London Symphonic Orchestra under John Williams, who talk about how wonderful it was to be in that moment creating music that is now so iconic. So there you go. A couple of nice programmes to watch before we go see The Rise of Skywalker. I've got my tickets booked to the 1 minute past 12 on Thursday morning, Wednesday night, Thursday morning. And I'm really looking forward to it. I just love Star Wars, even the holiday special. So on that bombshell, I'll say, may the toys be with you.
Just one more round, friend, then homeward bound, friend. Don't forget me in your dreams. Just one more song, friend, and then so long, friend. The nights get shorter, it seems. Just one more rhyme, friend. Yes, it's a crime, friend. But you know time, friend. Time can fly. So it's good night, friend. Good night, but not goodbye.